Hello and welcome to another Q&A here on StephenVlog, one that you've probably been waiting on for quite some time, because you want to know where the vlogs are at. Well, the vlogs were stuck behind a dam, and the dam was...
This video.
And now the video's out, so it's going...
That's one way to put it.
Anyone that ever wanted to have a gif of that, there you go. Yeah, the reason that this video is coming at you a little later and why we've been releasing kind of other stuff is just that I record the Q&A and mail videos with the same camera that Mao uses to record Mao Makes. And if Mao is doing a Mao Makes video, the camera must remain stationary forever. So we can't do the Q&A until she's done with her painting, and this last painting, Shadow of the Colossus, has been a ridiculous undertaking.
Yeah.
And her camera has been stationary for like a month, basically. So that's why. That is the explanation. But now you're getting this Q&A, and we are moving right along. So we got your questions from last time. And oh, by the way, before you start writing questions for next month, don't. We actually have next month's Q&A already filmed. You may recall I uploaded a vlog or a video on StephenVlog.
That was like, hey, Alex and Haley are here, we're doing a Q&A with them, so post questions. So we took those questions, and those are going to be the next Q&A. So don't post questions for us until that Q&A. Basically,
you can chill this month on questions, because you'll be able to ask them next month. For now, just enjoy, because the next Q&A is already recorded. All right, so the first question is from MinatoAri. And they ask, how has Dan been doing on the editing? Have you had to make any changes to his edits? What are your future plans for him editing your content? So, Dan moved here, for those who are not aware, and it has been awesome, because not only is it great to have, you know, one of my best friends around, but also he has been editing our content. And we started him off by editing GTA. Well, we technically started him off years ago editing memorable moments. Dan's been the person editing all of the memorable moments that you guys suggest for like
a long time.
2 years, 3 years, something like that. He's the one that does them. So if you've watched a memorable moment in the last like 2 or 3 years, Dan's the one that made it. You're the one that suggested it, Dan's the one that made it. But we've been sitting on GTA Online forever, and I was like, oh my god, I'm never going to get a chance to do this. Dan, you do it. And he did, and all of the last like 6 or 7 videos that came out for GTA Online, the heist stuff, was all Dan, and he did really good. As far as like any direction that I had to give him, I mean, there was definitely some, just because
it was small things like audio levels, though, right?
Yeah, it was all really, really minute stuff, but there's going to be some stuff because, you know, for one, my content is my baby, and it's very hard for me to entrust that to someone else. I think Dan is the only person on planet Earth, and I'm serious, that I would trust editing that content. You would be second, but you would have to get more familiar with the process, and Dan is obviously more familiar with the editing process. So I really like... I mean it when I say that I would not give my content to just anyone to edit, and I trust Dan. Dan has done a really great job. There's been a few things here and there, but it's mostly just been, you know, what do you do in this situation? And I would be like, I do this. And he'd be like, all right. And then that was it. You know, it was never an issue again. So the way we've been doing it recently is that, you know, I watched the GTA episodes because they were so involved. But after that, he took on Halo 3. He's the editor behind all of Halo 3.
Not Morning Mario. NES Classics.
He did all of the NES Classics videos. And basically, like on NES Classics, I watched the first one that he sent. And, you know, I said, maybe do this or that. And then he showed me the revision, and I was like, done. And I didn't have to watch any of the other ones because I trusted that he got it right. In fact, he went so far above and beyond in that series because there was all these little jokes and everything like that. So he did great there. But like on the Halo series, he finished the first episode and I watched it. We, you know, did any revisions we had to do. And then I was like, done. You know, cool. That's that. And then he was set for the rest of the series. So from this point forward, Dan is going to be editing, for the most part, every main series that's not Fallout. So I'm the one taking charge of Firewatch right now. But once Firewatch ends, the replacement series for that, Dan will edit. The replacement series for Halo 3, Dan will edit. Dan is going to be editing both main series, besides Fallout, for ever, I guess. The only thing I can think of that he won't be editing that I'm taking on personally is our upcoming Let's Play of Super Mario 3D World. I'm going to be handling that. It's more of a Stephen and Friends thing, but he's going to be handling those things, and he's also actually handling all of the Stephen and Friends content, because there's a ton more coming out soon. It's going to return very soon, in fact, like this weekend.
Yeah. As
a weekly series. It's going to be, as long as we can keep it up, every single Saturday. Some Saturdays you'll get Stephen and Friends, some Saturdays you'll get GTA Online, and he's going to be taking care of both of those. So Dan's doing a lot. Dan is doing a lot, and it's been super, super helpful. I know we rambled quite a bit on that question, but Dan deserves that anscer because he's done really well.
Something? Because I saw it twice in the comments. People always ask, do you pay Dan? Yes, we pay Dan.
Yeah, I always feel like it should be obvious.
Yeah.
Like that, yes, obviously we pay Dan to do the stuff, because it takes quite a bit of time to do. But yeah, we pay Dan for creating the content that he does.
We don't chain Dan to a desk.
Well, we chain him, just pay him at the end. The next question is from Adam Wang. How do you back up the videos you produce, and do you ever keep any unused or raw footage? We've answered different derivatives of this question over the years, but
I thought there was an update to this. I thought
there is an update.
Why I picked it.
There is an update to this question. Sort of. Historically, it's changed a little bit. Like back in the old days, we burned things to DVD because that at the time made the most sense. And then
you went to dual layer DVDs.
And then went to dual layer DVDs.
And then Blu-ray.
And then to Blu-ray.
And then drives.
Well, and then to dual layer Blu-rays.
Oh, and then drives.
And then we moved it to hard drives. And we're still there. We're still locally backing things up. But we are trying to move everything to the cloud. We have an Amazon Cloud account, which is great, by the way, if anyone's interested in having off-site storage. I think it's like $50 a year, maybe? Something? I don't know. Maybe it's more.
For it, not me.
I don't remember. It might be $100 a year. It doesn't matter. It's still worth it. It's unlimited space. Like, unlimited space. You can upload whatever you want. And trust me, I have taken advantage of that situation. The only problem that I have is that I don't have enough time or bandwidth, thanks Uncle Jed's internet service, to actually upload everything. But I've got most vlogs up. I probably have...
You have all my content up.
I have 2,000 vlogs in the cloud. I'm still working on some of the older stuff and some of the current stuff. I have every video, full version and time-lapse that Mao has done. And I've started on StephenPlays, but that will take me years. But it's a work in progress. I'm trying to get it all offloaded because the only backups I have besides YouTube are here. And, when you have stuff on YouTube, you don't really own that. I mean, it's your content, but
it's not. It could come down.
It could be deleted at any time. Yeah. I mean, it's just boop, it's gone. So I like to make sure that stays safe. So that's kind of what our process is. We do backups immediately, but we try to slowly get everything onto the Amazon cloud, when we can. As far as like unused footage,
no,
we don't. Like, as a general rule, if I don't think we're going to use something, I don't hold on to it ever. Like, it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh, you know what, we're gonna release a blooper reel. Like, I don't do that. I just get rid of it. Holding onto raw footage, especially nowadays, now that we're shooting pretty much every single thing in 4K, is like, no.
Yeah.
Can't do it. There's no way. We only hold on to the finalized versions. We never hold on to any raw footage. We just get rid of it all. Because Mao's latest painting, which was Shadow of the Colossus, was 36 hours of 4K footage shot at 24 frames a second at like a 200 megabit megabit per second, is that what they call it? Bit rate. And if you're wondering how big that is, it came out to 2.5 terabytes. Some of you might not even know what a terabyte is. That's 2,500 gigabytes. It's a lot. It's a whole lot, and I hate it. Actually, I hate that it takes so much space, but it's cool to release your videos in 4K. I like that. All right, so now that we've elaborated on 2 questions.
A lot.
And I already know that this is going to be a long Q&A. We'll try to speed up through the rest. Is that speeding up? The next question is from Xeno Mata. How does guest content work on StephenPlays? Do they ask you, or do you ask them? Any reason why most of your guests are your personal friends and not other YouTubers? There's not really like a secret answer here. It's basically, no one ever really asks us. It happens, I guess, occasionally, maybe.
Like Carly wanted to be on a video.
Yeah, like it happens. And if someone like specifically is like, oh, I'd love to do something. I'd love to do a Q&A, or I'd love to do a first 20. Most of the times people say first 20.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, sure. Like, and like, that doesn't, that doesn't hurt me or bother me or whatever. Like, if that person has like never made a video, or, you know, they just want to talk about a game like that, releasing a first 20 of whatever they want to do, like, that doesn't harm my channel in any way, you know? That's just fun. And as far as doing it with friends, like,
they live here.
I mean, people live here, or people are visiting. I don't know. It's not that I'm against doing stuff with other YouTubers, but it's more convenient to do it with friends, and it's fun, you know? Like, certainly not like, okay, so like when you're dealing with a YouTuber, you know, they are a personality, obviously. You know, they are a personality, they have a personality. Obviously, if they're doing stuff for gaming content on YouTube, then, you know, they have a certain voice, and they have theatrics or acting abilities or improv abilities. And obviously not all of my friends have that, but it's fun, and they have fun, and I don't mind including them, you know? Like, I think they have fun playing the games, and I think, to some degree, having some people that aren't personalities is kind of nice, you know? Like, whenever you're doing like GTA Online or Stephen and Friends, like sometimes I think that, you know, some of the friends that we include in the videos, you know, they aren't like the big time personalities, but I think that adds, I guess, in some way, like some level of realism.
Yeah.
I guess, you know? I don't know. I love my friends, and I'm fortunate enough to have friends who aren't completely weirded out by what I do, and who don't mind being included, that I can say, hey guys, I'm thinking maybe we'll do a recording on Saturday and play this multiplayer game. And I have friends who will be like, yeah, let's do it. Like, that's awesome. And I think because of that, I'm more willing to be like, yeah, you know, it doesn't matter that you aren't a YouTuber or whatever. Let's just do stuff. Now, I still like doing stuff with other YouTubers.
Yeah.
I still love doing stuff with Emilio and Masay and Josh and people like that. It's just,
I think you and John would do really cool stuff.
Yeah, I would actually really like to do something with John at some point, because I feel like we have some chemistry there. But as far as like, you know, trying to make that thing work out when they are already doing their other stuff,
yeah,
it's harder. That's why a lot of our personal friends make it into Stephen and Friends and GTA Online. Did I cover that question? I think I did.
You did.
I think I did. Yeah. That seems pretty good. And then that kind of leads into the next question, which is from Jonathan Peel. Whenever you host or participate in a collab video, do the participating people get a cut of the video profits? Or is there some other agreement, like participating in a future video? So, to answer this question, I'll start by saying no. No one gets paid anything. But I think that there's this culture, or this maybe just misunderstanding of YouTube, because a lot of times when you hear about like money on YouTube, the person that's thrown out is like PewDiePie. It's like, PewDiePie made some videos on YouTube last year and he made, you know, $7 million. So everyone's like, oh, okay, so people on YouTube make a lot of money. The truth is, at least for our channel, we don't make a ton of money like per video, which is one of the reasons that in order to survive, we release a lot of videos, is because, for one, we can handle it, and I enjoy releasing a variety of content, but also, like, it's kind of required. Like, in order to live, we need to release a ton of videos, because our view counts are not like PewDiePie's. So each individual video is actually not making a ton of money. If we did a GTA Online video and we had 8 people in it, and I was going to split the profits 8 ways, no one would make anything. So whenever you're dealing with collab videos, like for me personally, no one gets paid. It's just kind of the understanding that if I can help them out in some way, that I'll try to. Some of my friends are doing their own thing on the internet, and that's the best situation for me because I feel like I can at least try and help promote them. Haley, for instance, very recently started doing streaming, which is perfect for being on Stephen and Friends and GTA Online, because I feel like then I can actually use that to promote her content. We link to everybody's like stuff that they want to be linked to.
Whatever they want to be linked to. And
I think that's good for her because she can become her own personality, and people are like, you know, I really like that Haley girl. Oh, she does her own thing. It's a little more difficult when someone is just there to have fun, which I'm glad that they're having fun, but I feel bad sometimes because like I have no way to promote them or whatever. Sometimes people just have a Twitter account, and you know, it's kind of fun to watch their Twitter following grow, you know, but that's like the only thing I can really do for them, because if I was divvying up money, no one would make anything, and then that would be bad for me, and then the incentive to make that sort of content would be, you know, very, very low. But I've never done any collab video, either having people on or me doing collabs with other people, where any money was ever exchanged. There's always an understanding that
it's just promotion.
It's promotion, you know, and as far as like promotion actually working, I would say it does. I would say it definitely does. I've noticed growth from appearing on the Runaway Guys.
When you and Josh, you did Minecraft and Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, like we'll do, and that's one of the things, like an agreement type thing. You know, if me and Josh talk and we're like, oh, we want to do a collaboration thing, then I'll do a series on his channel and he'll do a series on our channel. That's how we actually ended up doing Left 4 Dead. We did Left 4 Dead on his channel, and then I had him on for Minecraft. Actually, he owes me a series.
Yeah.
Because I was on for Left 4 Dead with him, so he actually owes me a series. We haven't arranged that yet because I've been so busy. But yeah, like the Runaway Guys was really good. You know, we don't get paid for that, but the exposure is really good. And Emil also understands that I'm going to be vlogging, which is kind of in some way a payback thing, because it's no secret to anyone. All the Chugga Conroy vlogs always do really, really well. Vlogs that feature the Runaway Guys always do really well. So whenever I go and record with them, obviously I'm getting promotion for being on their channel, and I'm helping them out by appearing, but they're helping me out because I'm filming stuff that just in general is going to do better in view count than, you know, 90% of my other stuff. They know that, I know that, and it's an agreement that we're all okay with. I am not going to be able to get through this video without taking forever.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Have I said a few words?
I'm sorry. When I was filling out the questions,
you were like, "There's none for Mal." Oh well.
That is not what I said. I just said.
Yeah, you were like, "There's none for Mal," and I was like, "Whatever."
We both inputted questions into this Q&A, but there were a lot more that were more specific just to me. We'll probably fix it next month. Actually, next month's the one with Alex and
After that.
After that. I'm sorry. There are just a lot of questions on here. The next question is one that you can answer.
Hooray!
Sorry. Nolan Geer asks, do you prefer dark milk or white chocolate?
This is easy.
Dark.
Dark.
Me too. I don't...
And even, like, the higher percent is even better for me, in my opinion. I like that better.
I agree. Like, the darker the better. The kinds that aren't even sweet. You just eat it and you're like, gross. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Good.
Yeah, I like that.
For example, there's a truffle store where I went to college, and we stopped in there. Did we vlog that?
I don't think we did, actually.
Okay, well, we drove through where I went to school when we were in Minneapolis last, and I begged my dad. I was like, please, can we go to the chocolate store? So we went to the chocolate store, and they sell truffles in different forms of
percentage.
Chocolateness.
Yeah, chocolateness.
So they have like 45, and it goes all the way up to 99. And I get 99, and it's like super bitter, and the inside is like sweet, like soft chocolate, and it's one of my favorite things.
I agree. I mean, I prefer dark chocolate, and like I'll eat milk chocolate, but it's not as good as dark.
Yeah.
And I don't...
White chocolate has a weird taste to me. Like, it's not chocolate, it's... To me, it's something else.
Yeah, I agree. It's not on my radar for enjoyable... Like, it's not that I don't like it. It's just that...
like, if we have something that has different chocolates in it, dark chocolate's gone first. And then milk chocolate's gone. And then we're looking at the white chocolate, and we'll have a couple, and we'll
Like,
be
I like the Hershey's cookies and cream bar.
yeah, but then like the rest of the white chocolate stuff will kind of be like, oh,
I don't know. Yeah, it's probably my least favorite. And like, once again, I like it. It's just on the bottom for me. Anyway, next question is from Troopcaptain. Did you shoot 30 days of NES Classic in one day?
almost.
3 days?
I think 3. I was gonna say 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think 3 days. This is such a weird question to receive because, like, on our end, it just makes sense for production purposes,
Yeah.
but there's been a lot of people ask that. A lot of people. And they actually asked if we recorded the same day we recorded the last Q&A because we were wearing the same clothes.
Oh, were we?
And I think we probably did, maybe. We probably did the Q&A and then did the thing, but also maybe not. I don't know. Could have been a completely different thing. Whenever we do that sort of content, we find it easier to wear the exact same clothing.
If we're recording it like we did, it would be stupid for us to get 30 shirts and then like go through all of them.
Well, here's the reasoning.
Yeah.
You can either do it one of two ways, and only one of two ways. You can either wear the exact same clothes throughout the entire thing, or you'd have to change your clothes every single video. And you'd be saying, no, you wouldn't. Why would you do that? Because if you wear some clothes for 5 videos and then some clothes for 7 videos, then the viewer loses the illusion that this is like its own thing. Then you start like, oh, you recorded this is a batch and this is a batch, and you don't want the viewer to think about that. It's not that thinking about it as a good or a bad thing. It's like that's a distracting element. If you're wearing the exact same clothing, then when you watch that series, that's what you're going to see. And this is something that's not new to us because Mao makes. I mean...
Yep. I keep the shirt I use for painting, and when I'm done painting, I'll change and put my painting shirt, like, in the studio.
Mao doesn't paint her stuff in one day. Shadow of the Colossus was done 10 days? 12 days?
Yeah.
So you're saying, wait, did she wear that shirt for 12 different days? Yeah. She put the shirt on to paint. When she was done, she would take it off, put on a different shirt, and then that shirt would sit there, and then when she goes to paint, she put it back on for like 10 to 12 different days. So doing that for NES Classics was cake.
Yeah.
Does it smell by the end? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't smell pleasant, but it's
not awful.
It's not terrible.
Because, like, I don't wear it the whole day.
I know. I'm just saying, for the purposes of the video, that's why we do it.
It would look strange.
Movie magic. Magical. The next question's from Moonlitlilies. Have you both recorded simultaneously in the new place? Are there any adjustments that could improve the audio?
Yes, we have.
We have.
When I'm recording, I can hear Stephen.
When I'm recording, I can't hear Mal.
Well, you wear headphones.
I do wear headphones. As far as like being picked up on each other's mics, it doesn't really happen. The mic that I use in here is it's a more sensitive mic, but I have the gain turned down to the point where it's just picking up. Because you think about whenever I'm recording, I have the mic like in front of my face, so I don't need it all that loud. Now Mao is using actually this mic. She's using a shotgun mic, which is far more sensitive to the
everything.
The sound surrounding her.
Is it cardioid or an omnoid?
It's a cardioid mic,
okay,
but it's far more sensitive than my mic. They're both cardioids. But whenever she's using this, it can hear more stuff. So like, if I get, let's say, really, really loud, which doesn't happen very often. I'm not that guy when I'm doing StephenPlays, but occasionally something scares me in Fallout 4 and I do get really loud. It can faintly show up on Mouse mic. But for the most part, we have not had any problems. And certainly, it's a million times better than it was at the apartment. Because at the apartment, our recording spaces were so close, it was impossible to record at the same time. Here, we can. And we do, all the time.
What would make it better is probably the door to this room being shut, but then the cats would freak out. So we can't do that.
I keep it cracked whenever we're both recording. I just keep it cracked so the cats can get in and out. Another thing that would probably help is soundproofing this room.
Even just hanging a few things on the walls.
Yeah, well but like we have vaulted ceilings in the middle.
Yeah.
So we would need to do sound blankets or foam or something, and it would take a fair bit of it. Personally, I don't think it's worth it. Would it help? yeah, I think it would help, but the amount of time and energy and money that it would take, I don't think would be worth the improvement we would get. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if I had a professional like sound guy come in that does that, they could tell me a lot more. And they have services, they're just really expensive, and I don't know if I want to do that sort of thing. Next question is from PH Scale 8. What equipment enables you to hook up your classic consoles to more modern TVs? PH Scale, like recently saw a vlog where we were talking a little about that, and they were curious. So there's a few options. You got a few options. You could buy a really cheap box from Amazon that just converts like component to HDMI. They're plentiful. There's a million options. They're all from China.
They're cheap.
They're really cheap. Some of them maybe work better than others. Read the reviews is my best, suggestion. But you can definitely get an option there for like under $50. No problem. And honestly, one of those is just really nice to have around because sometimes that's what you need to do. You maybe not, you don't have a TV that has component or component/composite, or you do, but it sucks because there's a lot of TVs that it doesn't display it right. Something happens.
Don't we use our box like that for Malmakes to hook up this camera to the really old TV we have?
Yeah, that's for a completely different reason.
Okay.
But yeah, Mal's TV that she uses for Malmakes is a 720p television, which these days is kind of a weird thing to hear. But they existed at one point, and the camera will not put out a 720p signal. Well, it puts out a 1080 signal. The TV will not ever receive a signal that's 1080. It won't downscale it or anything. It just won't receive it. So we have to use one of those boxes to take in HDMI 1080, output HDMI 720, so the TV will see it. I mean, we could get another TV, but that's a cost that's just not really necessary since we had one of those boxes laying around. Now, those $50 boxes, or honestly more like $30 boxes, are a really good solution for pretty much anyone. It's not going to be the prettiest picture, but it gets the job done and it's cost effective. If you,
I was gonna say,
if you want to move up a little bit, you could consider the XRGB Mini FrameMeister. Now this is a professional upscaler. This is usually regarded as like kind of like the best upscaler on the market for video games. And this is from Japan. They do not produce these in the US. You will have to buy one from Japan. They fortunately do have English firmware. I don't know if it's official or if it's from some guy. I don't know. I ordered how I ordered this is there. I had heard rumors of some guy who lived in Japan who sold these himself. Like he would buy them and then like sell them again with the firmware on them. And I bought it off of some forum that I joined specifically to do this. And if you asked me who he was, I couldn't tell you, so don't ask me. But you can buy these, and I think they sell them on, like, people sell them on eBay and stuff with the English firmware already on them. And they are professional upscaler units, and they look amazing. But in order to get these things to work right, you probably will almost certainly need modded game consoles. So the FrameMeister, you're looking at probably about $400. So that's a huge jump up from the $30 to $50 option. The reason we ended up getting this is because a few years ago we were doing Extra Life, the children's charity event where we raise money for our local hospital, and we were doing N64, and I was like, I want to broadcast N64 on carts. I want to use the actual carts because we had been finishing up the collection. It's like, I want to do it on actual hardware, actual carts, and I want it to look as good as possible. How do I do that? Well, I found out it's this. It was an expensive option, but now we have it. We can use it for future videos, which is cool. So in Japan, they have this special connection that we didn't get in the US called, I guess they call it 21 RGB, or JP21. And it's a very special connection that looks beautiful. But you have to kind of convert cables to it. Mm-hmm. And the problem with the systems is that most of the systems that we got in the US don't support RGB output. They take all of the video and just put it into one pipe. Well, that creates muddy, terrible looking video. So you either have to buy a certain system that has RGB, because some models of certain consoles have RGB, or more likely you're going to have to get something modded. So like I have my childhood N64, and it doesn't support RGB because the only RGB models in the US were only manufactured in like the first 3 months of the N64's life. And they're not even enabled by default. You have to like open them up and do stuff to them.
With them.
So I bought an N64 that had an RGB mod installed, and then I bought a special cable that would allow me to hook that up to a FrameMeister. Then I could get like perfectly upscaled, pixel perfect 1080p footage from the FrameMeister running on an actual card. Is it worth the time and effort and the money? I mean, it's up to you. That honestly is what it comes down to. For me, it was a really like personal thing. Like, you know, we've completed the collection. I really want to do this on actual cards. I think now is the time. So I went for it, and I'm kind of glad I did, because now we just have it and we can use it for all sorts of things. The downside is, for every single, you know, console that you're doing, it may need a completely different solution. Like, I think the Super Nintendo has RGB in it. We never got the cables for it in the US, but it's in the US system, so you just have to like import a Japanese cable and then it works. But like on an N64, you have to mod it. For like an NES, that is hell and back mod. Don't even try. Like, there's a lot of things that are an aggravation, but this is like the ultimate way of doing it. Or a $30 Amazon box, and you can actually watch you can watch videos online of people kind of doing comparisons, and then you can get an idea of what it looks like. So hopefully that answers your question. If you're asking if like there's an in-between option,
maybe.
I mean, maybe, but like sometimes the best option is just to do S-video. Some old consoles support S-video, and if you can buy a cable that has S-video and your television supports it, it's a really great way of doing things. Anyway, once again, I told you, long Q&A. Next question is from Olov Eriksson. How do you store your game manuals? Do the manuals fit in universal game cases? Actually, we just got... They're up there. Can you reach those?
Oh, no. Yes.
Grab that stack.
I got 2. Is that good enough?
Yeah, actually, it's perfect. Oh, that's weird. Whatever. So, I do keep my manuals in universal game cases, or at least... I will at some point. But one thing I've noticed is that, like, on the game cases, if you're not familiar, these are called universal game cases. They're available from a website called Media Shelving. You can only buy them in packs of 100. So if you need less than 100, you are out of luck. But they're really great for holding games, and they will hold manuals, but they do. I don't know if you're going to be able to see on video. Like, this is at the bottom edge. This is over by, like, what would you say, like a millimeter?
It's tiny.
Like 2 millimeters? So, like, can they bend the manuals? A little. I mean, like a tiny bit, but honestly nothing that I feel would be real noticeable. One thing I have noticed, it's a little bit worse on Super Nintendo, because it seemed to be a little bit longer. But also, there's been a few Super Nintendo manuals that, were noticeably bigger than N64. Like, seriously, like, quite a bit bigger. Or maybe it was N64 that was bigger.
Do you have one that has a manual right here?
Maybe. I don't know. It might be this one. Yeah, so like that one actually fits. You know, like Earthworm Jim 3D is actually, you know, like that actually fit in there. I don't know what it is, but some of the... I don't know if there was a regulated size for the manuals. Some of them are really close, but then there's been a few manuals that were just a little bit odd. I think by N64 maybe they were regulated, but on Super Nintendo there's some that are not the same size. And good luck on NES, because you'll get weird ones. Like, I think the Dragon Warrior ones, like, they're bonker sizes. They don't actually make any sense. Anyway, so hopefully that answers that question. That's a really specific question, but I wanted to answer it because we, if only just to talk about these cases, because a lot of people ask us what these are. Universal game cases. You can print the covers yourself at thecoverproject.net.
Also, they're kind of cool because they fit a lot of things. Like,
Yeah.
they fit CDs. They fit, let's see, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, N64.
Yep.
Let me put this
And
one back
if you really wanted to, you could print
cut
on
the pieces out.
I was gonna say you could print on the inside.
Yeah.
If you wanted a cool design or something when you open them up, but they look really nice. And the coverproject.net is a great community that has they've adapted the normal boxes to a vertical style, so they look really nice on a shelf. So tight. Close enough. Anyway, the last question. Sorry you didn't get to answer many questions. Next time. The last question is...
Next time.
Next time. It's from FaeNicole. We don't see much affection, cuddling, kissing, etc. on the vlog. Does that happen much off screen? I'll let you answer.
Yeah, it does.
It does. I mean, that's kind of the most basic answer I can give. I kind of value having some aspect of my life being private, just because so much of my life is public, and I don't mind it being public. Like, I don't mind sharing, and that's never, to me personally, it's never really been a negative aspect. But I do feel like there's some things I like to keep private. I know we've talked before about how, you know, we don't discuss religion, we don't discuss politics, and then the last thing is we don't discuss, you know, private or personal stuff. And I mean, our personal relationship is one of those things that I guess I kind of value, because it's something that I do feel is like, you know, for me, you know, it's not for you guys. And I think that anyone that watches regularly can tell that Mal and I have an extremely good relationship without any of that. Mm-hmm. You know, we get along really well. We work together really well. But yeah, off screen, yeah, we totally do. I'm a cuddler. I am. I'm totally.
Sorry, just the way you said that was good.
I'm a cuddler. I am. I totally am.
You did the Kepi thing.
I'm Kepler. But I am. I truly am. Like, every morning I wake up, I'm always like cuddling up, and we'll talk about, like, especially since you've left school and now you're here all the time.
I'm not
like,
waking up before
now
you.
Now that we're on the same schedule, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll wake up in the morning and I'll cuddle, and we'll just talk about what we have to accomplish that day. And we do that every single day. And it's a highlight of my day. And then that happens again at night. You know, we'll cuddle and talk about, like, what we accomplished and what we need to do the next day, and how things went, or how we could change things to make things better. Or if we have random ideas about stuff, then we'll talk about that.
Or we'll just watch cat videos. I was thinking like Colbert, but...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll watch, you know, actual content, or just cat videos, cat gifs. We'll be like, oh, look at that cat, he fell in the milk. So that happens a lot. But yeah, it's when that kind of stuff is not shown on the vlog, it's kind of like when we don't show us eating dinner. It's not that it didn't happen, it's just we decided not to show it.
We don't eat if it's not filmed.
Yeah, we've been starving. We haven't been to Wendy's. Yeah, it happens, you know, quite frequently. Mal and I have, I feel like a really good, like, friendship life, but then also like a really good, like, personal relationship life as well. It's just, you know, that part is not for you guys. That part's for us. But it's good. And I'm sorry, I'm a cuddler. I don't know why this is the international symbol now for cuddling.
You just
because
think of Kepi rolling because he puts his
I
little
think
paws
that's
up
got to
here,
be it. Either that, or I'm like,
look at me, I'm
take me to
cute.
jail. Take me to, put me in handcuffs. That could be something else. Anyway, that's it for this month. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, don't leave questions, because the next one's done. So instead, you could just, you know, talk about this video, I guess, if you wanted.
We should show Sagan.
What?
We showed Kepi last one. Sagan.
We should show Sagan.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait right here. Fun fact, the setup is changing a little bit. You probably already realized, because, like, were the bookshelves up in the last one? Maybe. There's just, like, games starting to appear. So that's good. That's going to continue to evolve. And actually, how these things are recorded is going to continue to evolve. In fact, right now we're using, I can pull them kind of into the shot, we're using the lights from Mal's studio right now, but we actually have another lighting solution that we bought recently, but it has to be mounted. We haven't done that yet, but that's coming soon. You got him. You went and you got the cat.
Hooray!
Well, welcome to his head is in the way of the... There we go. He's cute. He's cute. He's a good... Where was he? He was asleep on the chair?
He was on the chair.
He was asleep on the chair. Your mother decided that you had to be in the video because she wanted it to... She wants to treat her fur kids fairly. Because your brother was on the end of the video last month, and so we had to make things fair for you. Do you feel like things are fair now? You good? Fair and balanced?
I think he's done.
I think he's done. Once again, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next month when we will have a Q&A with Alex and Haley. Unless, of course, like, that footage is, like, corrupted or something. I just realized, we shot it. I haven't actually watched it.
It could be terrible.
It could be unusable. I don't know. I guess we'll find out.